All right, folks, welcome back inside the Janitor's Closet. My name is Bryce. This is my friend and football expert, Josh Frey-Sam, coming at you again with his best bets this week for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And Josh, last week, wild card weekend, you were able to pull out a 5-3 record for plus 2.5 units, zero point 0.5 points on the Rams team total from really blowing that slate open. Nonetheless, we move onward as we really don't have any choice, but we do have 5 plays for the good people for the divisional round here. Josh, we have 7 more games of football to watch this season. First of all, does that concern you at all? And the second question I'll ask is, how many of those games do you anticipate you'll be betting on?
Yeah, we are going to be firmly betting on all seven. I can guarantee that we will have
Perfect.
plays in all of those. Does it concern me? Yes, it does concern me because then it's a long off season, and I mean, luckily for us, we're going to be filling that time with betting on baseball, Bryce, and we're going to flip it over to you, the baseball expert, pretty soon, to give your plays on a near daily basis. So everybody who's watching, stay tuned for that. But for the time being, man, we got football. We got lots of football, or we got a fair amount of football left to dial into. We got lots of bets to make. We got lots of units on the line here. I'm wearing my glasses. These are not the glasses that I intended on wearing today. I was hoping that we could pull out some sunglasses for the fellas, for the good people there who are watching our show, but obviously did not have some good fortune in a couple of games. The one that really hurts, as you mentioned, was the LA team total over 23.5, which we missed by a point there. So anyways, ready to rock here. We're feeling good about 5 more bets here. So let's get after it.
All right, let's do it, man. And folks, the fellas are plus 12.7 units in the green the last 2 weeks of football. If you were riding that, if you were tailing the picks, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let us know you're riding with the fellas. We appreciate your support. And without further ado, we're going to get into our 5 plays. We're going to go in order of these games, Josh. And that means we are going to start at the bank in Baltimore as CJ Stroud coming off that red hot performance. One of our losses last week. Thanks, Joe Flacco. Nonetheless, Houston coming off their win, heading to Baltimore.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, pretty good one to kick off the divisional slate with. The concern here for anybody who's looking at Baltimore is the classic team coming off the bye. They haven't played a meaningful game in a little while, and then you got Houston, who is piping hot. More specifically, CJ Stroud, who's piping hot. However, we're this is a little bit of a different situation now. Last week we rode with Cleveland, just flat out thought that they were the better team and thought that they were the hotter team and wanted to ride with them, the more veteran team as well. Now we're going to Baltimore though. Houston was at home in that situation. Now they're going on the road where CJ Stroud splits definitely take a little bit of a hit. So now you're talking about going to Baltimore that's rested, that is relatively healthy. Obviously, Marlon Humphrey's not going to be playing this game, which is tough. But now you're talking about going against another Baltimore Ravens team, which is very hot. They're probably, arguably, you can make the case that they were the hottest team in football entering the playoffs. So the play here is going to be Baltimore minus 9.5 for 4 units. Going into this play, also taken in consideration for this is the weather aspect. We talked about the Houston team being a dome team, going outdoors to Baltimore. Well, it's not going to be fair weather out there. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. Might be a little bit wet out there as well. Obviously, from maybe some snow or something like that into the mix, perhaps. But CJ Stroud with the offense that the Houston Texans run, they rely on pushing the ball down the field. If there is an offense who maybe in the playoffs who is not equipped to withstand this type of weather, it might be the Houston Texans that are left in the playoffs. And on the flip side, if there is an offense who is equipped to adapt to this type of weather, it is probably the Baltimore Ravens, who have Lamar Jackson, the NFL MVP, or what we think is going to be the series MVP, able to run the ball. They're able to run the rock there, and obviously have a lot of success with it. So, with all that being taken into account, confidently going to be taking Baltimore minus 9.5 here for 4 units. I think that this is probably the end of the road for Houston, as far as just this Cinderella run that they're on. Windows wide open for this team, obviously, but Baltimore is just flat out the better team here. The elements are in their favor. They're at home. This is the play here.
Okay, Josh, we'll go from one number one seed to another, getting back into that rest versus rust. We're going to go from my family to yours. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers
Yeah.
visiting the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, this is a little bit different. I mean, this game could have a little bit of weather in it. We'll see. Could be a little bit of rain droplets coming down on the fellas there over there in Santa Clara, but not much, not enough to really take in that into consideration as far as the game goes. Play's going to be Green Bay plus 9.5. Listen, I think that this is far too many points to be given the Green Bay Packers. And we're going times 4 units, by the way, is how much we're putting down on this. The Packers are not only have they seen the 49ers, there's that familiarity between Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan as well. But I really do think, I was listening earlier this week to Kurt Benkert, former Packers and former Niners quarterback, backup quarterback, practice squad quarterback, who's done a really good job at analyzing stuff. And he kind of brought up the point that, like, when's the last time the San Francisco 49ers have played a meaningful game? Or won a meaningful game? It's you look at it, going into the playoffs, what they were blown out by the Ravens. They then went on to beat the Washington Commanders. Awesome. And then, they kind of rested people going into the playoffs. So it's like, and not only that, not only have they really, it's been close to a month since they played a meaningful game, but you look back to a game where they've actually gotten a sweat in, where they've actually had to sweat out a victory. It's been like close to 2 months. And so I think when you're talking about comparing the San Francisco 49ers to the Green Bay Packers, who have literally been in playoff mode for the past 5, 6 weeks, that's something worth taking into consideration here. Listen, we don't know how this game is going to go. The San Francisco 49ers might hit the ground running like they never even had a bye. They might not have rust to shake off, but I think it's worth taking into consideration how hot the Green Bay Packers are. And we're riding with the hot team in this one. It's simple as that. Plus 9.5. Give me the points. No question about it. Even if it is on the road, there's the familiarity between these two teams. Green Bay is looking to exercise some demons. Unfortunately, we have been handed some heartbreaking losses to the 49ers in recent years. But I think that this is a great spot for Green Bay to kind of exercise some of those deep demons. So give me Green Bay plus 9.5 on the road at San Francisco, and let's just let this thing ride out. And like I said, we're just kind of riding with the hot team in this one.
All right, let's move to probably the two best storyline teams to get to this point next with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Detroit Lions here, Josh.
Yeah, so this is another one where we're going to be actually taking the road team here. So Tampa Bay plus 6.5 for 4 units here. You know what? Both of these offenses are good. I trust both of these offenses, obviously. The difference for me in this one, and the reason why I could actually see Tampa Bay pulling off some sort of an upset here, and for sure covering this number, is the defensive side of the ball. Detroit, we saw the Rams, they actually bucked up pretty nice, which is what costed us our bet last week, but they bucked up pretty nice in the red zone, holding LA to a few field goals there, which was really good. But LA was able to move the ball on them. And I think that, maybe what's going to kind of be the determining factor in this game, and it kind of sounds obvious to say, it is going to be that Tampa Bay red zone offense versus the Detroit red zone defense. Detroit's red zone defense we saw last week against LA, and Tampa Bay's red zone offense kind of has struggled throughout the entire course of the season. So if they're able to punch the ball in here, I really do think Tampa Bay gives Detroit a run for their money in this game. And like I said, could possibly even win it outright. We actually predicted that Tampa Bay was going to win outright last week, so that was kind of nice on us right there. But I also think, just looking at the Tampa Bay defense, Tampa Bay's defense has kind of been banged up all season. And so I don't necessarily think that they've been actually playing to the level that they could be playing at. They're healthier now. They're getting healthier, and they've found some sort of a rhythm in the last few weeks. So I'm liking Tampa Bay's defense. I'm buying the juice. You know what I mean right now with Tampa Bay. So I'm drinking their juice. So yeah, let's take them on the road at Detroit here to keep this one close. And like I said, potentially even win this one outright. Plus 6.5 for 4 units, Tampa Bay.
Yes, sir. And let's finish off. We cannot finish this show without heading to Orchard Park. We need to talk about this Chiefs Bills rivalry. They're going to do it again, Josh, in the playoffs here.
Yeah, this is going to be a special one to watch. Obviously, this is probably the most anticipated of the weekend here. I'll give the plays here, and then let's give a little breakdown and explanation. So this is our biggest play of the day here. Kansas City, we're actually buying up a half a point. If the line is 2.5, we are buying up to +3 for 7 units. This is our biggest play of the season right here. We're feeling good about this one. We're also going to double dip in this game, and we're going to add Kansas City team total over 20.5, and that's going to be for 5 units. Okay, so our two biggest bets of the season are coming down on this game. The way a lot of this is kind of stemming from is the Buffalo's injury report, which it's an absolute mess right now. You look at the time of recording, Christian Benford, the cornerback, who is already, we're talking about their second, third, fourth corners here. Christian Benford has logged back-to-back did not part DNPs in practice to start the week. Terrell Bernard, the linebacker, who we thought had probably definitely a season-ending type of injury last week. He is logged back-to-back DNPs to start the week. Gabe Davis, battling a knee injury, has logged back-to-back DNPs to start the week. Taylor Rapp is still DNP to start the week, back-to-back weeks. Balin Spector, the linebacker, is back-to-back DNPs to start the week. So this is just, you can see this Buffalo Bills team is just, it's a shell of its former self right now as far as on the practice field. So, and if they carry that over into the game, I trust Kansas City's offense enough at this point, even though they haven't been great all season, but against a completely hobbled Buffalo defense, I trust Kansas City's offense enough to get it down the field, to move the ball on the arm of Patrick Mahomes, who's going to turn it on to a different level in the playoffs. Then on the flip side, where I really think this game we're going to see the difference here, is going to be the matchup between Buffalo's offense versus Kansas City's defense. And Kansas City's defense, Steve Spagnuolo, I think this is a great spot for Kansas City against Buffalo. Listen, was anybody really impressed with Buffalo last week against Pittsburgh? Like, we had Pittsburgh +10, and yeah, Buffalo got out to the hot start. They had the back-to-back impressive drives. Like, what did they do after that? Like, they didn't really. This offense still was not able to take advantage of a not great Pittsburgh defense, or a struggling Pittsburgh defense, or a Pittsburgh defense that is trying to carry a bad offense. So, listen, I'm just not bought in enough to the Buffalo Bills here. I'm confident Kansas City is going to win this one outright. I think Kansas City, I would take Kansas City money line even, but this is kind of a similar spot that we took, like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. We'll take the points with Kansas City, buy up to +3, and then let's also take their team total over 20.5. I think they're going to do enough to get it done here. It's going to be cold, going to be a little bit breezy over there again in Buffalo, but nowhere close to last weekend. We're feeling good about these ones, Bryce.
Okay, so that's Kansas City +3 for 7 units and their team total over 20.5 for 5 units, folks. Those are the 5 picks for this week. Some really good looking plays. We mentioned it's 7 games left in the season. We're going to try and get to all 7 of them. Of course, finishing with that Super Bowl special. We're looking forward to it. You're looking forward to it. Let's meet right back here next week, hopefully with some heavier pockets and some sunglasses on our faces. But for now, folks, that'll do for this week's show. We appreciate your support. Leave a like, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you watching. If you made it to this point, we appreciate your support. Happy gambling and bet responsibly. We'll just see you next week, folks.